Imagine this. Scientists discover that water isn't actually H2O, it's something else. The chemistry was wrong, the textbooks lied, and everything changes. Except, according to one philosopher, nothing changes at all. Because Saul Kripke argued that some truths, once we discover them, turn out to be true in every possible world. Not just lucky facts, not cultural choices, but necessary truths of reality itself. This is the strange, revolutionary argument behind naming and necessity. Today, I want to show you how one idea about names ended up rewriting how we think about knowledge, language, and what could have been. For most of the 20th century, philosophers believed in something called descriptivism. It works like this. Take the name Aristotle. According to descriptivists, that name really means the student of Plato, the teacher of Alexander, the guy who wrote Ethics, and so on. A name was just shorthand for a bundle of descriptions. Whoever fit the descriptions was the referent. Simple, clean, and nice on paper. But Kripke looked at this and basically asked, none of this matches how people actually talk. Because you can know almost nothing about Aristotle and still refer to him. You could believe wrong things about him and still refer to him correctly. Something else had to be going on. Kripke gives us a very different picture. He says a name gets referenced through two steps. The first step, the original baptism. Someone points at a baby and says, this is Aristotle. Boom, reference fixed. The second was the casual chain of communication. The name spreads from person to person down through history. Even if people forget the details or get facts wrong, the chain keeps the reference intact. You don't need a description in your head, you just need to be connected to the history of how the name was passed down. This simple idea leads to something explosive. Kripke says names are rigid designators. That means a name picks out the same object in every possible world where it exists. Nixon refers to the same person in every scenario, even the wild scenario where he never becomes president. But descriptions aren't rigid. The man who won the 1968 election might refer to someone else in another possible world. Names stick, descriptions flow. This is what lets Kripke crack open the traditional view of necessity. Before Kripke, people assumed if something is necessary, you know it a priori by reason alone. If something is discovered through science, it's contingent. It could have been otherwise. Kripke says, nope, these two categories don't line up at all. And his example is legendary. Hesperus is phosphorus. Ancient astronomers saw two bright stars, Hesperus in the evening, phosphorus in the morning. Later, they actually discovered they're the same object, Venus. This was discovered empirically, so as a posterior. But if the names are rigid and they refer to the same thing, then it had to be true in every possible world. It's necessary. Same with water's H2O. We only learned it through chemistry. But if water is that substance, then in every possible world where water exists, it's H2O. This is the necessary a posterior, empirical discoveries that turn out necessarily true. Kripke also flips the categories the other way. He gives the example of the meter stick used to define 1 meter. The length of the stick at time 0 is 1 meter. You know that a priori by stipulation, but the stick could have been longer or shorter. So, it's contingent a priori. The categories don't match, knowledge and modality come apart. After Kripke, philosophers realized that names are not descriptions, reference is casual, not conceptual, possibility and necessity don't depend on how we talk, but on how things are. Language connects to reality not through definitions but through history. And once a name hooks onto an object, that object brings real metaphysical facts with it, from one world to another. Kripke didn't update philosophy of language. He rewired metaphysics, epistemology, and how we think about identity itself. All from the simple question, what does the name refer to?